It was originally our beach. We were using all the beach. There was never a crowding issue at a beach. And now, through continued expansion, after expansion, we've always said what benefits Sandals benefits us. But now it is getting to the point where the greed of this organization is disenfranchising the communities. We will not give you our beaches. Look at it. Look at the size of Sandals Resort and the size on that map of what we have left. All that you see, continuing onwards, we had free access. I grew up accessing all the beach. Access. And with the development of that organization, we said, yay! And we cheered you on, we participated, we helped to build, and now look what we have left. Look, that little section, that is all we have left. And you are proposing to say, oh, guess what? I'll give you 50 jobs. 50 low-level skilled jobs, and you give us your beach, which we will never give you again. The only reason that they do not deny the gentlemen in the kayak is because they cannot rule the beach. And they try their best. They can't put their foot on the sand enough. They have to stay in that little canoe and sell their wares. It is at the point now where this relationship, it is no longer a symbiotic relationship. You are becoming a parasite.
This thing is going to affect the fishing industry, right? Me tell them plain, I am not approving it. Anything Sandals want, Sandals get. That's the way it goes. Whether we say yes or no, if you say no, you must get it still. Even with this meeting, I am the president for the group, and I was never informed until Mr. Abla called me last night and tell me about this meeting. And a customer of mine called me and tell me about this meeting, and we have a fishing group in White House, but apparently they don't want us to come to the meeting because they don't want our voice to be heard. We always have a good relationship with Mr. Stewart from the beginning. They break down bad, because this don't make no sense. That is a form of disrespect.
Until this matter is settled, the community will continue to use its beach. And as was the case in some other areas, we will not allow for under any circumstance, any fencing of this property to happen. And making it unequivocally clear, no, that we will not, because we know what our rights are, and we will not allow for any fencing of the property to take place. People are watching it around the clock, and if there are attempts to do that, we are going to remove it, because we know what will happen when it's fenced. Or access will be restricted until this is resolved, and we know the time it will take to resolve this, and we know that concurrently, in other instances where these things are being resolved, other things are happening that will further distance us away from having access to our beach.
I'm not sure if this assessment that looks at, moss and seagrass, I know it's very, very relevant, but I'm wondering if there's another type of assessment that is necessary to help us to determine how families and community and family life is going to be impacted by this project. Now, NEPA might not be the relevant agency to take on that piece of the evaluation or the assessment, but maybe we need to be partnering wider to find out which other government entities need to be brought on board to help us really begin to understand what is the impact of having this project in our community. Not just how it's going to impact our coral and our climate change and our mangroves, but how is it going to impact families? How is it going to impact children? How is it going to impact the fishermen? How is it going to impact access to fish and shrimp and all the other pieces that does not seem to be adequately captured in this assessment?
Residents around the community and around Jamaica have a beach problem, and they want to access the beach where with their returning residents, with their friends and family, neighboring community, and that's a problem. So we need to get the relevant authority that can answer the question that the community has to ask straightforward.
Intend, as per Sandals' track record of locking off sections of the coastline from the general public, if this is an exception to that or not.
Do we have a Sandals representative who is designated to speak this evening? I am not sure. This is really to look at the environmental impact assessment, and that is why Mr. Carroll is actually on stage with me. There's a young lady in the front with the microphone, but I believe...
No, there is not.